Picture this. You come home from a long shift. Double shift, actually. You're exhausted. Your little girl is with you. You walk into your grandmother's house, the woman who took you in when you had nowhere else to go, and something feels wrong. The lights are off. It's too quiet. The kind of quiet that sits heavy on your chest. You tell your daughter to wait downstairs, and then you walk up those stairs. Beat. What Eric found that night was a result of a plan so cold, so calculated, so deeply evil, that even the detectives who worked the case said they'd never seen anything quite like it. This is Operation Custody. And trust me, you are not ready for where this goes. Let's go back, way back, to 2002, California. Eric is a regular guy, works hard, good heart, the kind of man who still calls his mom on weekends, still shows up for family. And then he meets Rosa. Rosa is 27, beautiful, magnetic, and from the outside, their connection looks like the real thing. They fall fast, the way people do when they think they've found something rare. But here's what Eric didn't see yet, what none of us ever see until it's too late. Rosa didn't want a partner. She wanted a provider, a resource, someone she could control completely. Pause. Almost immediately, the control starts. Small things at first. She doesn't like him making phone calls without her around. If he calls his mother, she needs to be in the room, listening, every single time. Now, most of us would hear that and say, that's a red flag. But when you're in love, red flags have a way of looking like just quirks. Personality. She's just protective. She just loves me a lot. That's what Eric probably told himself. By the time Rosa stopped working entirely and Eric was carrying both of them financially, the story had already been written. Eric just hadn't read the ending yet. They get married in 2005. Beautiful wedding. Hawaiian honeymoon. All paid for by Eric, the only one with a job. The debt piles up fast. And then in 2006, their daughter is born, a little girl. And Eric, he's working 2 jobs, now trying to keep everything from collapsing. Meanwhile, Rosa isn't working, isn't happy, and is slowly, methodically, cutting Eric off from everyone who ever loved him. His friends, gone. His extended family, gone. Every relationship that could have given him perspective, support, and exit, severed. Because that's what certain kinds of people do. They don't just want your loyalty. They want your isolation. By 2007, the marriage is in free fall. Rosa starts spending most of her time at her parents' house. Eric barely sees his daughter. He's depressed, exhausted, and completely alone. And then Rosa drops the ultimatum. Divorce. And because she'd spent years making sure everything was in her name, the house, the accounts, everything, she kicks him out. Eric ends up sleeping at his grandmother's house. A 91-year-old woman named, we'll just call her Grandma, because she deserves that tenderness. Now, here's where Eric does something that Rosa did not see coming. He gets a lawyer. He files for custody of his daughter. And the moment Rosa finds out, something shifts in her. Something dark and final clicks into place. This isn't just anger. This is the kind of rage that makes people dangerous. She doesn't just want to win the custody battle. She wants to destroy him. First, she emails one of his employers. Eric works in social services. And Rosa sends an email claiming that he's off his medication and planning to come in and shoot the office. Eric gets suspended immediately. Investigators look into it. They trace it back to Rosa. It was a hoax. Complete fabrication. Eric is cleared and gets his job back. But Rosa isn't even close to done. She calls the police next. Reports that Eric is assaulting their daughter. Then she calls Child Protective Services. Says the same thing. Every single allegation investigated. Every single one found to be false. But think about what she's doing here. She's not just attacking him. She's building a narrative. She's trying to paint Eric as unstable, dangerous, unfit, because the custody case is coming. And she is playing to win. Beat. She loses. In 2008, the court awards Eric 85% physical custody and 100% legal custody of their daughter. And that's the moment Rosa decides that the legal system can no longer help her. So she goes somewhere much darker. What happens next is the part that genuinely made investigators pause. Rosa doesn't spiral into grief. She doesn't call a therapist. She doesn't accept a ruling. She calls her mother. Her mother, Mei, and together, a mother and her daughter, they sit down and they plan a murder. 2 murders, actually. 3, if things had gone differently. They name it Operation Custody. Let that sink in. They named it like a military operation, like this was strategy, like this was business. The shopping list alone tells you everything you need to know about where their heads were. Guns, a sword, a pocket saw, a throwing star, a crossbow with arrows, duct tape, rope, handcuffs, stun guns, a baton, goggles. Who buys goggles for a murder? Someone who has thought about this so carefully, so completely, that they've considered the mess. And then the Google searches. Because, of course, there were Google searches. How to get away with murder. How to strangle someone. Deadly poisons. All of it logged. All of it time-stamped. All of it eventually handed to a prosecutor on a silver platter. Here's the plan as Rosa and Mei designed it. Step 1. Break into Grandma's house while she's alone. Step 2, murder Grandma. Step 3, hide inside the house and wait for Eric to come home from work. Step 4, murder Eric. Step 5, stage the entire scene to make it look like Eric had murdered his own grandmother. That's the plan. Grandma is 91 years old and completely innocent in all of this. She took her grandson in when he had nowhere to go. She gave him shelter. And in Rosa's plan, she is simply an obstacle. One early morning, Rosa loads up all their gear, drives to Grandma's house, slips into a side door in the garage. She finds Grandma, and she tases her, then beats her with a broom, then strangles her, then hits her with a stun gun again, just to be sure. She wraps the body in sheets, puts her in a garbage can in the backyard shed. Then she calls Mei. Come over. It's done. And the 2 of them settle in, and they wait for 11 hours. Think about that. 11 hours sitting in that dark house, surrounded by their weapons, waiting for a man to come home so they can kill him too. What kind of stillness does that require? What kind of cold? Eric gets home after dark, and he has his daughter with him. He walks inside. He tells his little girl to wait in the living room. He notices the house is too quiet, too dark. He goes upstairs to check on Grandma. He opens the door, turns on the light, and they come out of nowhere. Rosa and Mei, weapons swinging, stun guns firing. Eric is fighting back, but there are 2 of them and they are armed. And then Rosa raises a pistol and points it directly at him. Give up custody. Sign it over. Right now. And Eric, beaten, shocked, alone with his daughter downstairs, says yes. He would have said anything. But here's the thing about evil plans. They never account for everything. Outside the house, completely by chance, Grandma's boyfriend's son and his wife had come by to check on her. Routine visit. Nothing dramatic. Until they heard the screaming. They ran to a neighbor's house. Called 911. Police arrived fast. They breached the house. They found Eric. They pulled him out, and they arrested Rosa right there. Then they arrested Mei. And then someone checked the backyard shed, and they found Grandma. Rosa went to trial. She was found guilty. The judge sentenced her to 36 years to life in prison. Mei received life in prison. And Eric, broken, grieving, physically wounded, having lost his grandmother to the woman he once loved, was left to pick up the pieces. He still had his daughter, though. He'd fought for her through false accusations, through a custody war, through an actual ambush in his own grandmother's house. And she was still his. But Grandma was gone. A 91-year-old woman who did nothing but love her grandson, erased from the world because she was inconvenient to someone's plan. That's the part that lingers, isn't it? Not the weapons. Not the Googled instructions. Not even the name. Operation Custody. Though that will stay with you. It's Grandma. Gone. 9:40. CTA plus ending. Eric survived. But survival isn't the same as being okay. And somewhere tonight, a little girl is growing up knowing what her mother did. Knowing what was done in her name. That's a weight no child should carry. If this story hit you the way it hit me, If you found yourself thinking, how does someone become this? Then stick around. Because on this channel, we don't just tell you what happened. We sit with why. Drop a comment below. Tell me, at what point did you realize just how dangerous Rosa really was? Was it the fake shooting threat? The false accusations? Or was it the moment she named the plan? Hit subscribe if you're new. And if you want the next case the moment it drops, the notification bell is right there. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.